Ricardo Love, and we also got a call in. Our call in is Gina. So listen up. We're gonna talk about the relationships, and we're gonna have a great time today. We're gonna uh, we actually got Ricardo qualified to love in this podcast with us, and also you can check that out. We here at Uncle Mario Studio right now. My man Ricardo, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Everything good. How about you, Doris?
Great.
Hey Gina, how you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Absolutely. So we're gonna start this off with some of the things growing up. When we grew up, we dated the pretty women. We dated the beautiful women. We were out there in like that life, that thug life. We were uh, tough guys. We were in that life. So we liked the pretty girls, and I got a couple of pretty girls on the line with us, and I got a girl on the line with us, a woman on the line, and I got one here with me in the studio, and we're gonna talk about what their experience was like dating in the neighborhood and people around them that probably even gang banged or sold drugs or was just in their life. So I'm gonna ask you first, Doris. Uh, I know you have your oldest kid is by someone that was from your neighborhood, right?
Correct.
Cool. And that was how long ago?
Oh my God. Now you're telling my age.
Well, listen. That was
Over
so
30
long
years
ago,
ago.
but that was 100 years ago, so long ago. One of the things that we want to know is how did that shape you to deal with relationships in the future?
Actually, I had my daughter when I was 17, pregnant at 16. So me, I never counted that as a relationship because I was still a kid. But once I got 18 and was able to get my own apartment and became responsible, um, it actually changed the way I looked because we were always fighting jealousy, envy, um, fighting other girls. And so it did change the way that I had an outlook on relationship when I did decided to well, I can't say that because then like they said you follow a pattern.
Right.
So he just wasn't from the neighborhood anymore. And so what we call is an upgrade. What we thought was an upgrade, or I did. But, it changed the way I looked as I got older when it came down to relationship.
Okay. So, Gina, I'm gonna send that same question to you. Guys that are uh, drug dealers, gang bangers, hoodlums, guys that were tough guys in the streets in the neighborhood. You date anybody like that?
Absolutely. I have dated guys like that. Yeah.
And so, what
Yeah.
was that experience like?
It was a life lesson for me, you
Okay.
know, because I was in the game too.
You was in the gang.
I was in the game for sure.
Is that
Absolutely,
right?
without a doubt.
You know,
And
if
I
you're a
was,
gang member,
yeah,
you got to carry a pistol and jump on people and stuff like that. You was in that kind of gang?
I wasn't, a, I wasn't a gang member. I was a drug dealer.
You said the game.
Okay, okay. So you still had to be in that life. So you had to, um, you dealt with a lot of different individuals, males and females. But the males that you dated, how was that dating them? I mean, what was it like?
Well, for me, I would say me dating um, a black king that was in the game. For me, it was like a life lesson. They taught me the bad from the good. Um, I really can't speak nothing bad about it. They taught me how to myself and the things I should watch out for. You know, it's something that I will never. My daughter. Let me start off right there. I have a daughter that's on fentanyl, being lost on fentanyl. Let me get on that. And I was a drug dealer, so dope. And I like to speak up on things like this because karma. You would never think by you being a drug dealer and you selling drugs. You never think about it when you in the game. but somebody came and grabbed my daughter. You know what I mean? Somebody came and got my baby. And my daughter, she's out there lost on fentanyl right now. So for me, um, it's a life it's a life lesson, for me, because you never, when you out there and you in the game and you making money and you moving quick and things is good, you don't think about what goes around. You just thinking
Comes
about the
around.
money that you're making, and your lifestyle and what you letting. But now I'm in a situation where I have a daughter and somebody got mine. Somebody got my daughter and my daughter is lost on fentanyl. Now I'm chasing my child down in the streets and trying to save mine. But it makes me think how many people children lives that I destroyed when I was out there. You understand where I'm coming
Oh
from?
yeah, that's big. That's strong.
So for me, it was a it was a life lesson. It was good then, but now I'm chasing mine down. So it has your mind. It's nothing good to really say about it, because now I'm chasing my daughter down and I'm fighting for my queen, because now she lost. And probably the person that, when I was in the game, the person that I probably was selling dope to back then, now they child is selling drugs to my child.
That's big. That's strong, and that's some of the things that we would love to prevent. But like you said, things come back. It's like a boomerang. Throw it out there, and it
It's a
comes right back.
boomerang.
So, Ricardo, what
Yes,
you got to
sir.
say about this?
Well, I was never in the life, but I did on the other side of it when we talk about healing from those wounds. So, in mentoring organizations in Simba, an organization called Simba in Oakland, California, we as the men and women, we had to train and we had to deal with our own childhood traumas, our relationship traumas, our neighborhood traumas, and then we so we wouldn't pass it on to the children. Later on, we actually got a contract to train welfare to work. So we heard all these stories about this trauma that's happening in the community, this generational trauma that's going on. Some of the things she talked about, um, the price that being paid in our own communities, us victimizing each other. And in one sense, we we are just victims ourselves. Even if you're a drug dealer, you're a pimp, you're a victim of that society. But at some point, you have to have the self realization to take that I'm not going to, you know, let this trauma. First of all, heal myself and get in touch with myself, and then I'm not going to let this go in the community anymore. I'm going to take responsibility for my own self and my own actions, accountability. And so that's one of the things we did in December. Now qualified to love, we built it on self mastery. You know, coming to childhood traumas, relationship traumas. As we as Black people, is qualified to love is for specifically for Black people, and because we have a specific history and a specific things that was enacted upon us that we are still healing from these days. So we get it from all angles, and then because we can't be have a effective relationship, we're never gonna be perfect. We're never gonna have, you know, just gurus walking around here, two gurus having a relationship. But we at least need to be in touch with the basics on how to have a relationship and communication and so on and so forth.
That's
So
big. We do need to have more programs out there. We need to have so much that can help. Well, actually, they do have some programs, but we need to get people to get to those programs.
right.
And I think that's one of the things that helping someone navigating them and getting them there. So I got another question for Doris. Doris, so how did you navigate through the challenges of dating or having a kid young and the father of the kid was, in their life?
Back then, I didn't understand about being a mother. I was a kid myself. But at the same time, I had to deal with being abused, um, and a lot of other stuff that came along. Now, that being said, I had somebody also that was a little older than me, and she was in a relationship with someone she was into drugs, selling drugs with, and that lifestyle. She couldn't deal with it, so she ended up turning to drugs. And I was trying to help her. So me watching the people around me that was hurt and turn on drugs to get away from their pain and the understanding why they're going through what they're going through because he had multiple babies with different women and they're bringing it in their face. With me, I always made it a point that I would not go through that. I was always fighting, trying to, make a man respect me in that field. But at the same time, I got into a program with Jim Brown when he came out with Mary I Can. And so that helped me to move along as I got older because I got to understanding that we was hurting people out there in those streets. And then as I got older, of course, I got me a job and learned how to deal with it, trying to be responsible on my own, but still was in that lifestyle. I was still there. And I didn't understand how to get out of that lifestyle until I started working and getting out of that environment. But I've always came back to my own community to help people to get out. I started going to church and started helping with the community. But I would break down and cry because I tore down a lot of the communities. I hung on Jackson Street. And that tells you a lot right there just by being on Jackson Street, what I did, you know. And most of it was survival. It was, I was
So at this
15,
time,
16 years old.
at this time when you was 15, 16 years old, when you was out there doing this type of activity, what about your parents, your mother, your father? Like, were
My
they?
dad was on drugs. My mom died when I was 4. So I never saw my dad drugs, you know. Somebody else did. But I did look at that we end up have to be in survival mode at that time, me and my siblings. So that being said, I always sit back and I observe and see what my surrounding is and try to always make a better choice for myself because I didn't want to fall down that same line, going to rehab, going to jail. First time I went to jail, I was 18. you know, the day of my daughter's birthday.
Wow.
I just turned 18 and she was turning 1. So, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm separated from my child, and I didn't want her to be a follower in my footsteps. So I always try to make it, be one step ahead of the game.
Can I speak on that a little bit?
Yes, sir.
You talked about being on the other side because I was never a drug dealer. I was a L7. I was square. I was goody two shoe. I played guitar for the church and all that. So being affected on the other side, my first marriage, I tried to do the right thing. I tried to not, just have kids out of wedlock. I was trying to do the right thing. The first wife got on crack. So I deal firsthand. That's when crack was first coming out. We didn't understand it. We didn't have all this compassion that we have now about the addiction of it and what goes into it. I just understood. I thought I took it personal. She didn't. I just came. A hard working man, come give me my whole check, and then you spend all the money. The car
Well,
gets
you gonna
repossessed.
get your girlfriend tonight.
The car gets repossessed. The sheriff is knocking on the door, talking about 3 days to quit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm taking the person like, why are you lying to me? Da, da, da. I didn't understand this disease called love, but it personally affected me. So before segregation, our communities were intact. There was a 90, some like upward of 90% marriage rate and families and morals and our own businesses and everything. When that COINTEL program and the CIA putting crack into the community, they hit us both where they hit the conscious community and they hit the average working man and woman with this crack. It just came through and devastated our communities.
It wiped out the neighborhood. It was like a domino effect from one neighborhood to the next, and it just knocked everything down.
And we lost a generation behind that.
But let me say this too. Let me cue in because it hasn't stopped. It ain't like it's not like it has stopped.
Mhm.
You know, at the end of the day, the government it's fentanyl now. So even it's
Mm.
still crack. It's still methamphetamines, but now let me tell you something. With crack, it hit us, and it's still there. It ain't going. It ain't went nowhere. That's for the older. The government has it set up so cold. Crack, it got the older people. Now we got fentanyl, blues, Percocets. They saying that you got Future singing songs, Papa Perk, put the lean in the cup. So now they destroying our young generation, our young children. Fentanyl
We lost her. Uh, I don't know what happened with her, but
Hit the
fentanyl
camera.
is not
yeah.
destroying.
Oh, there we
There she
go.
go.
Fentanyl is for a new generation. So as us as black people, we have to really wake up and know this shit is set up to destroy our young people. You can't find too many people that's on crack or did crack for 20, 30 years that's messing with fentanyl. No, fentanyl is set up for the younger generation. And it didn't start from it didn't start off as fentanyl. It started from popping a Percocet. It went from popping a Percocet, and it's in the songs. Future sang about it. Papa, our young generation hear the music.
So
It's not.
with Gina, with all that going on and that happening,
Hmm.
um, your background, doing what you're doing, what's the approach now to kind of like change the narrative of it and kind of bring somebody to awareness? What's the step next?
Well, for me, I'm gonna tell you what I do. I don't know the next step for the next person, but for me, I go out. I go out in the mud. I go to uh Naked City. I go over there. And I don't ask nobody to go with me. I go over there and I talk to the young women. I talk to the young black people. Whatever programs I can tell them about or send them to get help, or because there's a lot of youngsters, they don't have mothers. Their moms was crackheads. You know what I mean? Their father
Hmm.
was drug addicts. So when I come and approach them, I'm coming to approach them on letting them know I'm really from the neighborhood. I done sold drugs. I know what's going on. But at the end of the day, I'm out here really trying to save my young black queens and my young black kings. So I'm out there. The approach is to be out in the streets and
Okay.
talk to them and have a solution where we talk. We just can't go out there and talk to people. We have to have somewhere where we can bring them. You could go talk to people all day, every day. But if you don't have nowhere where you can, because some of them ready, some of them are ready to make a change, but they don't have no fucking where to go. Forgive my language, but I'm gonna keep it 100 because that's who I am. You know what I mean?
Okay. So
But if we don't have nowhere to home them and show them it's something different on this other side, going out and talking to people, man, come on.
so right now, do you face judgment or criticism for who you was back in the days
Come
for today's time?
So we can talk. But what is we have to build up our community. This is me. We have to build up. We have to build up and have somewhere we can bring our young black. See me, I don't talk about the older crowd. I talk about our young black queens and our young black kings.
So my
If
thing
we
is
gonna go
like,
out there and
no,
talk to them.
my question is, when you were out there, like right now, do you face judgment or criticism for what you did in the past? Do people judge you or do they
Absolutely not.
criticize you?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because I'm not who I used to be. They know who
Understood.
I am in 2023. They don't know me from 1991.
Okay.
They praise her probably for changing her life. That's the victory of it.
That's the victory. What about you, Doris? Do you face any judgment or criticism for anything that you did in the past through anybody in your family, friends, cousins?
No, actually, no. I changed my life around. Um, it was hard, but I took accountability and and I have to
And
make
you know
sure.
what? And I love her for that. I
So
I
so
I, I
what
respect.
advice would you give? What
This.
advice would you give
I don't like
someone
doing all
coming
that shit.
underneath you? Someone is coming behind you. What advice would you give them to navigate so that they don't go through the things you went through?
First of all, the main problem is a lot of them is scarred. You don't know what they've been through, and a lot of them blame parents for their issues, and a lot of them don't take accountability of the action that they take. They feel like they left alone. They're not, didn't get the love, and a lot of them. You can go back to the older ones, and a lot of people would say that's pretty much the same thing as the younger ones. Um, we brush them off. Back then we called up, oh, get away from me, you crackhead. Call them names. Now, what do we do with them? We don't have, like she said, no places for them to go. So I do the same thing when I tried my best to help and show them love. I don't care if they asking for food, for money. What I give you is how you spend it. I don't ask. I just
Amen.
try to be
Yep.
there and just to show them that there are kind people out here and that's willing to help. And if you can you know, just spend a little time with them. But you got to remember, a dope fiend is a dope fiend. And to get them off of that, they have to make up their own minds. And to get, you just got to help them.
Right.
It's kind of hard to say because a lot of them end up turning on drugs. They didn't say woke up one day and say, I want to be on drugs. They were tricked in it, or they was manipulated into being on drugs, or take this and just take away their toothache. You know, so a lot of them it probably like lean, cough drops. It's cough syrup. Take it with some Sprite because you heard somebody say it on the radio, and then now they're hooked.
Followers.
They didn't know that I'm gonna be
Period.
addicted on something.
Right, right.
And a lot
Right.
of the music also plays a part of it because that's party drugs.
Yep.
It wasn't.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
nowadays, party drugs is marijuana.
Right. So nowadays it's pills, syrup, calling it lean and uh,
Especially look at their
fentanyl and
favorite artists.
your
You
favorite
know,
artist. So right now the music world is they say so much devil stuff about it, and if you're not degrading the neighborhood, you ain't getting on. If you ain't uh, banging and killing and all that type of stuff, we lost several rappers over the past 5 years, and then these were rappers that we've never heard of because they're not in our era, but they popular and people know who they are and things like that. So we lost quite a few of them. And for Gina, in hindsight, like what are some of the things that were most significant in the challenges that you faced going through everything that you went through? What are some of the things that you faced? You already told us about your daughter, but before you had your daughter, what were some of the challenges that you faced coming out of that lifestyle?
Well, I'm gonna say for what a lot of challenges is trying to uh connect with people. I want to fall in with people. You know, I want them to accept me. And sometimes when you want people to accept you, you willing to accept stupidity in order to fall in the group. So for me, what changed me, first off and foremost, what changed me was God. Number one. I don't care if it was a Muslim or Jewish or whatever. It's politics. I believe in God. And I feel like what changed me, I went to prison. I went to prison. I did 2 years in prison. And that changed my life. I'm gonna keep it real. It changed me to the maximum. Just me sitting down just for a little bit because I feel like I was moving too fast in the streets, and God really could have took my life, but instead of Him taking my life, He said, "I'm gonna sit your ass down for a minute. I'm gonna sit you down for a minute. It ain't gonna be long, but you need to sit down." So for me, that's what changed my life. But I feel like if I would have had a father figure, and I'm a woman, it's a lot of females out there, young children that's females, We need a man. We need that man in our life, regardless of what,
Amen.
and we hear a lot of black men, they talk about the black king, the king, he need a father figure. We need men to hold our black young kings down. But at the end of the day, we need fathers for young queens. We need that man. We need that figure in our lives. And I feel like for me, if I would have had my dad, I never had my father in my life. You know what I mean? So, but my mother, she did the best she could, but I feel like for me, if my dad would have been in my life when I was younger, I feel it would have changed a lot about me, But as further as the way I moved and different things like that, but I didn't have no father, so I had to take the responsibility of what my father should have took care of my mom. I had to take that responsibility and take care of my mom on a father's level, So we need black men, women, young females. We need that black king in our lives. We need guidance.
Okay. That's real. No, definitely. We do need fathers in the household. We do need fathers taking care of their daughters, taking care of their sons, and taking care of their spouse, their mate, girlfriend, girlfriend, wife, or whatever.
I'm not even talking. You know what? Forgive me. I don't mean to butt in, but I'm not even on a spouse and a female and taking care of the woman. No, because once you start taking care of your queen, the young version, the queens and the young kings, you're gonna automatically take care of the queen.
So,
She's gonna
can you share any
automatically be
positive? Can you
included.
share any positive gain that you gained from the experience that you did? Anything positive that you learned along the way that you could share that worked for you?
Well, for me, I feel like the positive that worked from me is not giving up on me. I didn't give up on me, and we gotta love us first. We can't if we give up on us, we can't we done gave up on everything. I'm number one. I gotta make sure I'm good. And God bless me. I own my own business. I ain't gonna speak up on it because I don't need advertisement because I'm already there, you know. But you know, I always been an independent woman. And I'm not saying independent where I don't need a man. I just had to grow up and I didn't want to grow up how I was raised with my mom. I didn't want to be without lights. I didn't want to be without food. So me, the way I grew up, it made me stronger as a woman. It made me respect my king. It made me respect me. It made me just respect. I don't want to I don't want to be running from the police. I don't want to be nervous when I move in the streets. I love being who I am. I love taking care of people. And let me tell you, when you have an open hand, when you have an open hand, you able to receive and you able to give. So that's me. Long as I know I'm doing right and I'm not taking or stealing or hurting nobody, I'm good. God gonna bless me. I don't need
Right on.
validation. I know I'm
That's
gonna
right.
be blessed if I'm doing the right thing.
Okay, so Ricardo, you gonna relate on that? Can you?
Well, we're qualified to love. What we had to do is go to the source. So why are we having these issues? Why are the divorce rate so high? Almost everybody you talk to, you got relationship problems and so on and so forth. We keep on going through the same cycles. So we try to get to the source, and that's self introspection to see what happened in our childhood. Come to terms with that, and come to terms with our past relationship models. Come to terms with how we communicate with each other, effective communication tools, um, self mastery, um, self love, and then operating in the fruits of love. Um, you know, Patience, kindness, having grace. And then
Yes, sir.
in the process of choosing, we have a game called the Getting to Know You Experience, which is a compatibility game. We ask the key questions because what happens in a relationship normally is boy meets girl. I'm attracted to you. You attracted to me. We go out on a date. we all say we bring our representatives, we say the right things, we know what to say, what not to say, what you know, and then next thing you know, we in a situationship. We don't really even know each other. So this
But you know
process of
what?
getting
I'm not to cut you off, black man. For me, if we're gonna get on relationships, let me tell you something. Because I'm a single woman, I own my own business. You know, I live in a nice house. I'm good. But for me, with a relationship, men is not used to, and I'm not saying all men. I'm not gonna speak upon all black men. And all the reason I say black men, because that's all I deal with. I don't never go out of my race. But I feel like nowadays when a man meet a woman and you know, we go out somewhere and she be like, oh baby, okay, I'll pay for the dinner tonight, or I'll pay for whatever, you know. When a man nowadays, when a man see a woman just being a good-hearted woman and out to give, they take advantage of that. They're not used to that. They
that's
don't
not a man, that's a
appreciate
boy.
that.
That's
but
not a man, no,
but you
that's
know
a
what?
boy.
But we speaking up on it. It's a lot of men. Well, okay, it's a lot of boys that's 52 and 60 years old that's still acting like a boy. What's the
Mhm.
problem?
Well,
Intimidation.
so that's another thing we deal with. You have your negotiables and non-negotiables, and then under your non-negotiables, like was Maya Angelou, when somebody show you who they are, you believe them, and if they keep, you can have a certain amount of grace and like, okay, well maybe they didn't mean it that way, but you could start seeing character flaws or whatever, red flags and so on and so forth. So you have a standard, and you don't compromise on that standard because the sex is good or because he's handsome or whatever,
We ain't
and
never
that
we ain't even never made it to sex.
well
We
whatever
on
your
we on some
reason for
regular.
staying,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We
So that's
not.
part of the
It's
vetting
not that.
process. So when you're talking about vetting and due diligence, that's you getting to know somebody on the date or even the first couple of months in the relationship. You're checking them out, they checking you out. You're seeing if you're worthy of my
It don't
time.
even take
So
a cup. Hey, brother. Hey, black man. Black man. Black man. I'm speaking from a woman's view. You're not a woman, so I'm telling you from a real woman's view. It don't have to take months.
it could
It
be
don't
the
have to
first
take two
half
months.
hour of me dating you that I could see that I don't want to be with you or you not want to be with me.
But
I'm just
no,
saying whatever the length of the process, because people can play games for a while, and they could put the role up, but
people.
as
Hey,
eventually their real
baby,
self is
people that
gonna
been
come out.
black men. People that been married 10 years and just finding out who they really married to.
Well, that's that's
I
that,
think
that's
they was
that
in
playing the
denial.
game. That's that, and then that's that interference where people interfere in your relationship because let's say I know somebody close to me had a relationship and their relationship was doing really well, and people helped the guy go and start cheating when he
Hmm.
was really a good dude,
Hmm.
and his wife caught him cheating and things like that. But you could fake it for a long time.
Hmm.
You can fake it for
Not
20
really be who
years.
you are. But then when your real personality show, it'll let you know if that's who you want to be with. Like Ricardo said, when you meet somebody, the first 2 or 3 minutes you'll know if you want to be with them. My first with my second son uh,
Mm.
was kind of like a one night stand type thing. But even though I still went to go and still visit the woman afterwards, we were young at the time. Even though I visited afterwards, I knew that wasn't who I want to marry.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was always uh, something I didn't like, and I don't want to be living in life where uh, I don't have, I can't do what I want to do and be who I want to be. I got to be hiding behind a shield, and then let this woman dictate everything, and just not really check her about her. Bad energy and things like that. I don't want her to bring the bad energy around me. So when I had my second son and I wanted to take care of my son, I did everything, but I knew me and his mother wasn't gonna be together. I dated two girls, and one girl was this beautiful girl, another girl she was beautiful, but one girl she was superstar like girl. All of my homeboys was like, "Man, you mean to tell me you chose her over her?"
Hmm.
Like they were really tripping, but this other woman, she had a lot of this stuff going on in her life, things that she did. She was in that life, you know what I mean? And I didn't want nobody in that life. I wanted somebody holy and somebody that, you know, didn't drink, didn't smoke, somebody that was uh, into the Lord. You know what I mean? At a young age, and then I know I was goofy and crazy and did a lot of crazy stuff out there, running around. But at the same time, I wanted somebody that was not doing the same thing I was doing.
That was your non-negotiable. That's what you put as, this is what I want. This is what I'm not selling for.
Exactly.
And then you might have some negotiables, which is, man, I want her this tall or this shape or something, but maybe she got these personality things that's really good, and so you could compromise on that. But certain things you can't compromise on. For a woman, a non-negotiable might be you can't have any violence against me, or it might be you can't cheat on me repeatedly or something. But
Repeatedly.
yeah.
A relationship is not like it used to be back in the days. I mean, if I date someone my age, I'm 53. They broke down. I'm not taking care of no broke down. You was good a couple years ago, but now you on disability. I'm going to work.
Everybody, you ain't made
No,
no.
I'm just saying it's
The people that's in your path.
Date anybody that's younger than me. I'm trying to be on the same accord.
So do you think that you may be looking? Well, not looking. You're not looking in the right area.
I'm not looking at all. But if it so happened to come my way because I work so much,
You'll never
I'm
even
trying
know
to
when it comes.
focus. I mean,
That's
I date.
probably 10 men. That's your husband. That's the walk past you. That would have been your best husband that you didn't pay attention to.
Yeah, why?
But
Because you
but
probably
as a
didn't like
black
their
man,
appearance.
hold on.
You
As a
probably
black man, you
you
gotta
probably didn't
ask
like the. Hold
yourself
on,
that
Regina.
about a
Hold on,
female.
Gina. You probably didn't like their appearance.
No.
So I'm saying you probably never even looked at them or paid them no attention. There's probably somebody
Their
right in the
ass was
vicinity.
broke.
You understand what I'm
They didn't
saying,
have
Gina?
no money. They was bomb.
He ain't have no money.
Look at here. Look at here.
Hmm.
It's something wrong. It's something wrong.
And then a lot
It
of
just it,
times
it
they
just
always
So let me
it
say
just
this.
ain't
So
gonna
so
look
so
at
they
y'all
say
know.
I'm aggressive, too aggressive, or because
Yeah, no man won't know. No man wants to be married to, not like they don't want to be married to another macho person.
no, I'm not a macho person. I just like if I'm gonna go to work, I expect you should have your income up just as well as me. Don't come to me when you all broke down and on a cane
That's
and
true.
sitting in a wheelchair, and then now you talk about baby, I'm ready.
period.
You talking
Right.
about 53 years old
Baby,
already
I'm
broke down in a
ready.
cane and
You got something younger than that.
It's a
okay,
lot
There
of
you
I mean,
go.
them.
I've
Don't
been
act like
watching
you
you.
don't
No,
know,
you
Michael.
haven't.
It's a lot of them.
Yes.
So
Period. It's
these
real
type of
life
people,
out
like
here.
what kind of
you're in the wrong
yeah, what
environment.
kind of environment is it? I mean, what
Go to
environment
the
is this? You
gym,
know what I mean?
nigga.
Where are you seeing these kind of people at? Like, are these neighborhood? Are these people
No.
out in the stores? Or these like
I never dated people in my neighborhood that's like that,
no?
but still. And then if I do, they want them much younger, or you know,
Stella got a groove back.
I always have my groove back. Shoot. I
So
mean,
a lot of women go to Jamaica and find them a young dude since the movie.
yeah, but right now I have a focus and I have a goal and I have a dream. So my thing is to get myself together. I'm facing retirement. And then I want to get my retirement home. I
Michael.
have another goal. My path is changed from the guys that I was dating. So now you're here and I'm over here. I don't want to be in Vegas to spend the rest of my life here. I want to travel. I want to go here. But I got family. He said, "Oh, I got family here. I want to stay close to my family." Okay, well,
Peace.
I'm out of here.
Deuces.
We see that a lot of that, women speak on this level that there's nobody out there. We did a show called "There's Piss in the Dating Pool," and then we did another show about women, older black women choosing to stay single, and they get it from their grandchildren, hobbies, their girlfriends, and all this stuff, fulfillment. And when you tell them why are you single, they talk about what they don't want. And some of these people are religious. They might be in Islam or Christianity and stuff, and they're trying to tell me that God doesn't have one person for them. There's not one person. We're not talking about the averages, like, okay, out of 100 men, 80 of them ain't gonna be good. But you trying to say that you can't find one person that meets your criteria to make you happy, and they don't believe that they're out there. I'm I mean, and sometimes the men do the same thing. We got passport brothers going to other countries even to try to find someone. So at some, that's why Qualified to Love was created, because we have to create a pool of qualified people that can do this, because we can't give up. There's no alternative to give up. The foundation of the black community is the black family. The foundation of the black family is mother and father. And so that's relationship. We have to get this thing right, no matter how hard the obstacles seem, or you know what the environment out here seems. We got to do something to change it, and we can't give up on that. That's a we can't say there ain't nobody out there. You know, what's the alternative?
So what you think about that, Gina?
she
About
she look like,
Can you hear me?
Whatever, brother.
I hear you clearly. I hear you
So
clearly.
what you think about that? What he said?
I mean, what he said. It's what he said. I mean, it's real life out here. You know, we on the podcast or however cast, but when we move in these streets, it's reality. And I know what, and I'm not a person where I'm looking. And I don't, and you know what? I say it like this. It's not. I don't look. I'm not out there looking, but men see me. I'm not a man. I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman. I want somebody to, you know, not take care of me, but I'm already good. But it's a lot of men when they see
So
you doing
so what do you
good.
want? Do you
And
want
hold
a
on,
man? Do
wait.
you want a man?
Oh, I'm gonna get one. It ain't I want. I'm gonna get me one.
So let me
Um,
ask you this.
but
No, no, well,
uh-huh,
let me ask you a question. So you're not in a relationship right now.
not at all.
So why?
Criteria. What's your criteria?
I think for me, I'm not saying all men. I'm not saying all y'all
All
black
you
men.
need
I'm
is
gonna say
one,
black
though.
men. 'Cause I don't want more, baby. I don't give my body
So
away like that. All I need is one. That's all I can handle. I'm
So
50, I'm
so
about
what
to
do
be
you need?
53.
What's
But
your
I would say a
criteria?
lot of men. Hold on, let me say this. I would say men. It's men out there, and y'all doing good. Men, a lot of men is intimidated when you got your shit together. And it's men out there that's want a woman like that. There's a lot of men that's just intimidated. They be like, shit, she doing shit. They start looking at how you living, and I like my nails done, I like my hair done, but I'm already doing this shit. I'm already doing it. But they
so
feel like a lot,
what's
not
the
all
most
men.
important thing in a relationship for you?
In my mental mind, in my mind. You knowing me. You know what my favorite food I like. You know my favorite color. You know my ups and downs. It ain't got nothing to do with financial. I don't care about money. I don't want to know how your pocket look or what you making it. That don't matter to me. Because if I'm rolling with you and you mine, I don't give a damn if you got zero banking account. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna work. We're gonna work together. But
All right.
mentally, just let me. I want you to be my best friend. I want you to know not my light bill and gas bill. I want you to know, oh shit. If I go buy her a rose, I know she like a red rose. Or if I do this, I know she like. I'm a simple female. I'm very simple. So but most men when they see me, they already assume I'm not simple. They look at me like I'm a materialistic type of woman. Oh well, shit. They start looking before they say anything. Damn, look at her nails, look at her car, look at her house, look at this. They didn't. That turns me off because that's not me. Me, just simple shit. Let's go have a picnic. Shit, let's take a ride on a, let's just take. I'm on that simple shit. So a lot
So
of men, they can look at a woman, they can look at her achievements and and what she's doing, and they get intimidated.
okay, so
Simple.
about being intimidated, Earl,
Hmm.
about being intimidated. So most men will be intimidated, some won't. And one of the things is,
Where's the ones that's not intimidated?
It's okay. No, the door. You need to go.
Okay, yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. We are getting ready to close the show out, but before we close the show out, I want to let everybody know that every relationship is different, and everybody deal with the situation. And at hand, most people have their own perspective on what they want in life. At this time, most people that deal in a relationship that hold it together, they have sucked up a lot of, that other person. They kind of dealt with their bullshit. They kind of, they learned it and they got
Because
adapted
you know
to it.
why I believe
Because
you.
you're gonna have
Not because, because
hold on.
no,
You're gonna
no,
have
no.
some
Let me say
bullshit in a
this. Let me
relationship.
say. You know why?
And
Because we
you
all
have to
single.
adapt. You have to
Everybody that's
adapt.
on this podcast,
Hold on,
everybody
Gina,
that's on this podcast,
Hold on, Gina.
even
You have
you,
to adapt in
you
a
single,
relationship.
I'm single, we
You
all
you
single.
listen.
We all
You have to
single. You
adapt.
single, I'm
That's like
single. We
that's like
all
in my.
single.
We both can't talk at the same time. Let me talk, please.
I'm just saying.
Just let me
I'm
talk.
just saying.
Just let me talk. Okay. So, in a relationship, somebody have to give. You can't have two dominant people that's being dominated in a relationship. You have to.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
and,
That's
and
why
then
you're
another thing too
single
is
and
you
I'm
want
single
to.
and he's single and she's single and we all single because everybody
Okay,
can't be
Gina.
dominant.
Gina.
But you're single,
Hold
I'm
on, Gina.
single, we all
Gina.
single.
Gina, hold on 1 second, please.
I
Gina.
want to talk to some people that been married. I want to talk to people that been married for 25 years. I don't want to talk to motherfuckers that's single. I want to talk to people that been married 20, 25 years.
Hold it.
That's the
Hold it
only
down.
advice a person could give me. I don't want to talk to a single person trying to talk to about advice. Are you crazy?
Okay, we had to get Gina off the show early, and we wanted to let y'all know that we had a great show. The show has to end, and follow us next Thursday right here on the VEG Ringtone channel and also on Qualified to Love. And we are here at Uncle Mario Studio. Do we have the audience in the house? Is the audience in the house? Yeah. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Had a great time on the show. Thank you, Ricardo, for coming in. Thank you, Doris, for showing up. And thank you, Gina, for being here. And we'll talk to you all on the next show. Peace. And I want to give a shout out to Bono.